was just talking to me like he was doing his job. You get what I'm saying? But he didn't seem like he was looking for an issue. He was literally learning. Like every time I turned around, he kept looking up at the. What's up? How y'all doing? I just wanted to talk about a quick something. I just came across. Well, before I even jump in, how's everybody day? This is actually a video and not a short, so let me be, spittable, if that's the proper word. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a good day. I'm at a local, not so much of a park, but a seating area, whatever. Yeah, there's a bit of extermination stuff going on right now, so I had to step out. But anyway, I just wanted to talk to. I just came across a short on my timeline. A woman that works with FedEx. She's been working with FedEx for quite some years now, and throughout this period, I guess she's come to see that there's different locations. They put people in different areas and stuff like that, and she was inquiring about being put in a different area, and I guess her supervisor, boss, whoever did the scheduling must have had told her that they're sorry, but I guess they put certain people in certain areas. And pretty much what she was inquiring when she said certain people in certain areas, the woman, the worker, she was of African American descent. She was black, and I guess the areas that she was inquiring about was primarily areas of white people. And yeah, the boss pretty much started, they put certain people in certain areas due to, community preferences. So yeah, she was just discussing that, and like I said, she worked for FedEx. My fault, my storage is full. But yeah, like I was saying, it kind of brought me back to, I believe it was 2021, either 2021 or 2022. I had got hired for FedEx, and my first day on the job was literally my last day. My first day on the job, I was training, and this was in Seekonk, Mass. The location that I was at was in Seekonk, Mass. And I was training my first day. Mind you, while I'm training, I already did delivery jobs prior, when it came like with Amazon and stuff like that. So the concept wasn't new to me. It was more so their system and the rabbit or device they use. I just needed to learn how to navigate through that, which I kind of got down pat. It wasn't difficult at all. But moving forward, the gentleman that was training me, he wasn't quite letting me work. Like, I don't know, it was kind of like he just wanted me to sit there and just let him do him. I don't know, it was weird. But I made this video because I'm like, bro, that same day, mind you, I think I'm gonna title this, "Did FedEx get me for my car?" Because no lie, after that day, I wind up leaving my first day of training, and as soon as I left the parking lot, I hit my the Uber Eats application so I could start working Uber Eats, while I was just over there until I, got home. And sure enough, as I started my first, I was heading to go pick up my order, and the cops wound up pulling me over. Mind you, I think I kind of like, I don't want to say I brought attention to myself, because during that time, I wasn't even aware that in their system, my vehicle was showing up as unregistered. So when they pulled me over, and I asked them what was the reason they pulled me over for, they told me that it's showing up in the system that my vehicle is unregistered, it kind of caught me off guard because I was unaware of that. I knew that at the end of that month, it happened in January. And January 31st, the inspection sticker on my plate has said it. January 31st is when was the last day that I had to get my vehicle inspected so that I can, go through the whole re-registration and everything or whatever. My vehicle wasn't, how do I put this? My vehicle was showing up in their system that the registration was suspended or something. That's what it was. It wasn't that my vehicle wasn't registered. My vehicle was registered. I think it was showing up in their system that my registration had been suspended. And I was unaware of that because, to my knowledge, I had up until January 31st. And this happened like within the beginning of January. Probably like between January 3rd, January 6th. Yeah. So by the time I thought I had until January 1st to just get the things because I had mechanics that I needed to get fixed on a vehicle, and that I had been working on that to get that, taken care of so that my vehicle would pass inspection so that I can, re-register it, because you can't re-register a vehicle that fails inspection. So that was my keen focus. But I didn't know these people the whole time, they had marked it as my registration being suspended. So, and I honestly, I haven't thought about this. Now that I'm talking about it now, it's making me wonder. I wonder if they suspended it because it was work that needed to be done on the vehicle. And the only way that the DMV can possibly find out, now that I think about it, the only way the DMV can possibly find out is if the place that I went to get like how do you call it? Like a Pep Boy. I didn't go to Pep Boys. I think I went to Speedy's. I think it was. It wasn't Pep Boys, but to get like the overall evaluation to see what needs to be fixed on a vehicle, I went to Speedy's. And in the process of them inspecting the vehicle to see what needs to be fixed or whatever, I saw the gentleman taking a picture. I don't even want to call him I'm just being respectful, but I don't even really want to call him a gentleman, but I'm just going to run with gentleman. I saw the gentleman taking a picture of my plate. I don't know why I don't want to call him gentleman. I don't know, something in my spirit. Maybe it's because they did something funny behind closed doors and didn't inform me. Like I said, because it's no way the DMV should have known that there was work that needed to be done on my vehicle, to have made them suspend my registration way before it was even due. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, how you gonna suspend my registration? It wasn't like I didn't have no issues with the vehicle. Like, I didn't. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. I think I was probably at the time, and I'm being honest, I believe I was behind a couple of months with my payments, only because like my monthly payments, my note. I was behind a couple of months with my payments simply because I was focused on getting the vehicle fixed, and I was putting money towards getting the vehicle fixed. So, in the midst of it, I kind of was like, straying away from the payments or whatever, but it wasn't like I was completely neglecting them. Once the vehicle got fixed and re-registered, I was just going to start, getting back up track with my payments. And like I said, I only had until January 31st. But yeah, now that I'm talking about it, that's the only thing that makes sense. And the only other thing that I can say is maybe, I want to say like the loan agency that I was paying my car note to, maybe they possibly reported that to the DMV. But I don't feel that the DMV would suspend my registration because my note payments aren't being paid. That doesn't make sense. For some reason, I don't think that's the thing. I feel like it would more so be me having a vehicle on a road that, needs work done is like a safety issue, so that will cause them to suspend my registration because the vehicle isn't fixed. So it's like, why you got it on the road? That, I understand that, but at the same time, like I said, I wasn't even aware that, and I'm not vehicle savvy. Like, I don't really know about cars like that, or the laws of cars and all that stuff. I'm not savvy when it comes to stuff like that. I done did driver's ed when I was like 16. Like I sat in a class, everything, all that information pretty much goes in one ear and out the other. After years go by, it's been years. I've had my license for years now, but I'm just not vehicle savvy. Yeah, so no lie. I'm like, I kind of feel like it's crazy. My first day of training, as soon as I leave, I go to start my next job or whatever, to just hustle up some money, and y'all snatch my vehicle up. And on top of that, it's coming up in the system that my registration is suspended, which I wasn't even aware of. I never received any mail saying my registration was suspended. I never received any call, nothing. Like, no one ever informed me about that up until that moment where they was taking my vehicle away. Mind you, I live in Rhode Island. Seekonk is Massachusetts. So I literally they took the car in a whole nother state. So all that stuff was just throwing me off. So now I'm sitting there thinking, like, bro, like, yeah, I'm telling them, like, yeah, I'm not letting y'all, I'm not gonna sit here and just let y'all take my car. How am I supposed to get home? And on top of that, y'all taking my car. I wasn't even aware that my registration was suspended. Long story short, the cop wound up snatching my keys out of the ignition. That's how they end up getting the vehicle, because I wasn't gonna get out the car. Like, I was sitting there and I was just going back and forth with them, because I'm like, this shit ain't right and it's not making sense to me. So the cop, I don't know what he was. He kind of looked Spanish to me, but I don't know if he was Spanish or like white, or like white and Spanish mixed. I don't know. Like, to me, race don't really be mattering, but I'm at a point in my life now where it's like I'm kind of more so like I'm kind of more so taking race into consideration for a lot of things, because I'm starting to notice people partner up and section themselves off, which is kind of dumb to me, because when it's all said and done, whatever little thing that people is getting by, they're gonna be back to kissing each other's ass. So it's like, what's the purpose of sitting there and trying to segregate yourself when everybody has to share the same spaces regardless? Like, it doesn't make sense, but whatever. Like, whatever. Back to the story. Yeah, so when I heard this, the situation this lady was talking about, on a short, it started making me think, like, the trainer that I had, with FedEx, he had made me, I don't know, I just had, like, I'm comfortable regardless, I'm saying, just with myself. But when I sense somebody might, be a little bit uncomfortable or have a different, I don't know, like, just have a different stance on life, themselves, whatever, people, I sense it. So, him not fully training me, it kind of came off like he wasn't fully training me, like he knew that I wasn't going to be coming back type shit. That's the impression that I'm getting at this moment as I'm talking about it. Like, it's not something that I really, like, put too much emphasis on before. My main emphasis during that time was, it's ironic I lost my car after this first day of training, and I already was feeling like kind of uneasy about the job and getting a job. So it was just that, because my vehicle was my form of transportation, but it also was my money maker. Like I said, as soon as I left the training that day, as soon as I stepped out of the parking lot, I hit my Uber Eats app to start doing deliveries. I'm saying, like, I'm hustling, like, I'm out here, I'm trying to make things happen. I got a deadline to get this vehicle up to par and get everything fixed. so that I can re-register it and everything be straightforward, so I could get back to just focusing on my note. Like I was used to paying all my bills 2 months in advance. I'm saying, so I never had to sit there and worry about a bill. And then once all that vehicle stuff started happening, it was like it was setting me back. You know what I'm saying? And the way the amount they was charging to, get like certain things fixed on it, to me it was ridiculous. A lot of the stuff was like sensory stuff on the vehicle. And the price range that they was telling me just didn't make sense to me. I had already got like all new tires, and then I had got the I think it's the axle, whatever bar like connects the wheels or something. It needed to be like fixed or something like that. So I had got that fixed, and the only thing left was pretty much like the sensory stuff. One being, I guess, like the spark sensory or whatever for the ignition or something like that. Mind you, I had just finished changing that a couple of months prior, and it was a Chevy Equinox. After once I started having the issues, it started making me do research more on vehicles and stuff like that, and I saw that it's kind of known for Equinoxes to have like electrical issues. So it kind of didn't come as a surprise after I've read that and found that I'm like, all right, so this is something that's common with these type of cars. But it was a great car. Like, I'm not even gonna say here, move your freaky ass. Why these flies just pause in front of me? They look like they was getting busy. Anyways, so I what that just took me off them damn flies. Well, anyway, so I just ended up letting them take the car. Well, I had no choice. He had already took my key. You know what I'm saying? And I did me this person. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, how you just gonna snatch the key out of the ignition? Like, how are you doing? He literally opened my car door on the passenger side, and he was sitting there because he put his hand through the window, unlocked it, opened the door, and was sitting there going back and forth with me while his head was in the doorway. And I kind of already sensed what he was gearing towards, like what he was going to try to do. But something in me just was like, I'm just going to let him rock, because it ain't no way you really going to sit here and do what I think you about to do. You know what I'm saying? That's the mind frame I was in. Like, bro, you really bold to post up something like that, bitch. Ain't no motherfucking uniform or badge in the world, you know what I'm saying, gonna make some shit like that acceptable in my world. You know what I'm saying? The way I think, bitch, it might happen, pardon my language, it might happen, it might go down, but don't ever think that it's and we're back. There we go. Yeah, but it's like, don't ever think that it's going to be okay and just a swept up under the rug thing that you just did what you did. After I done told you what I just told you, and now I'm in a position just like, because before he even got there, mind you, it was the cops that, he wasn't even the one that initially pulled me over. He came along. I guess they must have had called for backup. And I'm like, well, y'all got all these cops over here for little old me. Like, I'm not even, first of all, I'm not aggressive like that. And even when I get aggressive, it doesn't even really come off as like aggression. Like, I'm not somebody that you can really take seriously like that. So y'all putting on a show for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was just weird. So initially, initially it was a trainee or whatever that was driving the vehicle that pulled me over, and he was with an officer that was, I guess, a little bit more seasoned or whatever in the fuckery they do. So they pulled me over. The trainee came over to the window, and the older one, he was by the passenger door just staring at me with the wicked, yo, when I tell you it looks can kill, the way this man was staring at me through the window was so demonic and just so devious. Like, he just looked like he was looking for a response out of me. Like, he just looked like he was looking to get into something with me at that moment, because I'm the one that was there. But like, just really anybody, it was just a lot of wickedness when it came to him. Like, the way he was looking at me was crazy. Like I said, if looks could kill. But yeah, the trainee, he was asking me for my driver's information, insurance, all that stuff. So I gave him my insurance. Insurance is good. Gave him my license. License is good. And I'm just like, can you tell me what this is about? Because I knew, like I said, that's why I said in the beginning, I feel like I kind of gave myself away, but not so much that I gave myself away because I wasn't aware that my registration was suspended. It was more so a thing of, when they was behind me, like the Uber Eats, I was following the map, and it was like making a right turn into a plaza, and I thought I was supposed to go right. So in the process of me getting ready to go right, I saw on the maps that I was supposed to stay straight. So I kind of went right, but then I like hurry up and I swerved on the road to get back into the lane to, go left, and I stopped at the light. And in the process of me doing that, once I got to the light and I stopped, I saw behind me was the cop car. So I was just like, oh shit. Like in my mind, I was just oh, so I hope they, I hope they don't feel like I tried to cut them off or something, or like I'm just like being a reckless driver. I'm literally trying to follow a map, and I just was off at that point. So I like swerve back, stop at the light, and I see behind me is the cop car, and my sister, I'm just like, oh yeah. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I was like, whatever, like it was an honest mistake or whatever. So I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm just like, it was an honest mistake. I hope like they don't bother me because I just did that or whatever. Light turns green. I go start driving. Here I hear the sirens behind me. So I'm like, wow, they're seriously pulling me over because of that, like what just happened. So I pull myself over, and I'm just sitting there. So now I'm sitting there. They're taking mad long to come to my window. So I guess they probably running the registration. But I'm sitting there like, I'm just sitting here. Mind you, I got the thing running for the Uber Eats. So I'm like, I start preparing to cancel the order because they got me pulled over, and I don't want, like a bad, review, because, these people, they're waiting on their food. They want to eat. So I'm just like, all right. So I'm sitting there. They finally come up to the door. Wicked man is over by the passenger door, evil staring at me. Then I got the trainee. I'm saying he was a pretty decent individual. I'm saying, and he was just talking to me like he was doing his job. You get what I'm saying? But he didn't seem like he was looking for an issue. He was literally learning. Like every time I turned around, he kept looking up at the other guy over the hood. Like what do I say? Because we're talking, we're having a conversation, and he's looking at him like what do I say? Like what do I do now? Like, because everything I'm saying is making sense, and I genuinely didn't know like what was going on. So after he took my insurance and my license, I just asked. I was like, can I tell you the reason for pulling me over? Because I'm thinking it was because I just swerved back, onto the road in front of them, and I was thinking it was gonna be I was gonna get a ticket for like reckless driving or something like that. Sure enough, he was like, oh, because we ran your plates and your vehicle is showing that your registration is suspended. And I'm like, what? I'm like, my registration is I'm like, I literally was just at the DMV. I want to say a week prior. Because like I said, I had been handling everything with the vehicle. That's what it was. I had been handling everything with the vehicle. I had just got, mind you, it's all coming back. I literally just got the vehicle out of a towing agency because of my back payments for the car note. That's why a week prior, they had towed my vehicle. for the back payments for the car notes. My family member, my grandmother, she actually had wind up helping me get the vehicle out from the tow. I had to pay, no. No, that was, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so I had to pay like $1,000 and something or whatever. That's what, because my, yeah, I had to pay $1,000 something to get the vehicle out. Um, so I had just got that out because the vehicle was sitting in there for a few days or whatever. So I had just got the vehicle back out, and it was towed because of the back payments or whatever. So, but me saying earlier that I needed to make my back, because I wanted to get my grandmother her money back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like I was taking it. Like, my grandmother, her is like, you know, she's helping out or whatever. But me, it doesn't sit well with me taking money from them, especially when I was so used to being 2 months, you know, good in advance, just having all my bills paid. Like, I knew the only reason why I was in a predicament I was in was because the car issues I started having. So I was just, you know, in the process of trying to get the vehicle fixed. It's like I'm getting back on my payments, you know, and this isn't normal for me. Like, I'm making the money, I'm putting in the hours at work. It's no reason why I should be going through what I'm going through right now. So that was the whole thing. So yeah, I just literally got the vehicle out. And to get the vehicle out of the towing agency, I had to go to the DMV and you know, pay whatever I needed to pay or whatever, and show it was I had to pay road tax. It was like road tax something, whatever. It's like $150 on top of the fee for the car note or whatever. And I had to pay the car note. I had to pay the road tax stuff or whatever. Mind you, never even had gotten the road tax form in the mail or whatever, to my knowledge. Because at the time I was also homeless and I was living out of my car. That was another thing. It was just a lot going on for me. Like, I was living out of my car, and so when they told it, and I got it out, the taxes, I went to the DMV. The DMV never told me that my registration had been suspended when I was there. I was literally just there a week prior, and I told the lady, I was like, just tell me everything I need to take care of so that I don't have to keep running back here, and I could just fix all the issues at once. I said this to the lady at the DMV. She had all the information up in the system. So when they pulled me over and they started telling me that, so now everything is just connected in my head. I'm like, bro, like, it started making me feel like, yo, am I being set up right now? Because now y'all sitting here talking about y'all about to take my vehicle again after I just got the vehicle out a week later for $1,000 and something fucking dollars. And I'm saying, only to turn around and y'all sitting here telling me y'all about to take this vehicle again and have it sitting up in its whole place again, collecting fees by the day. Like, and I'm gonna have to pay that shit again to get this vehicle. Like, what is going on? You know, on top of that, y'all telling me my vehicle registration is saying that it's suspended. I literally was just at the DMV and I asked this lady to tell me everything I needed to know so I could take care of it so that we would avoid any issues. She ain't saying nothing about no motherfucking vehicle registration being suspended. So fast forward, after they take this car, when I had went to the registrate to the DMV the week prior, it was the whole COVID stuff was still going on, so they was only going by appointments at the DMV. You had to reserve your spot or whatever, and in reserving your spot, you got to put your name and your license plate inside of the system, and then it reserves your spot, whatever. They took my car around this second time because it was the registration was suspended. So now I gotta run back to the DMV because what they was requiring that I pay, I had to pay to, what was it? I had to pay to get the vehicle. It was something, I forgot what they said. Oh, I had to pay the fee to get the vehicle re-registered. That's what it was. I had to pay the fee to get the vehicle re-registered and get the paperwork so that I could bring it to the towing place so that they know that the vehicle, is back registered and stuff like that. But because the vehicle hadn't been inspected and it didn't pass inspection, I would have to call a towing company to get the vehicle off of the towing lot to bring it back to my mother's parking lot to park the car there, because I wouldn't be allowed to drive the vehicle off of their lot with the issues the vehicle was having. Pretty much, that's where everything all boiled down to. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, so now y'all taking this vehicle again. So now I go, and I said I go to reserve another appointment because I have to go back to the place to pay the fees or whatever and get everything. Y'all, when I went to go reserve my spot, I put my name in. I go to put my license plate in, and now the system is coming up. Mind you, this is like a week or two later at this point from when I was just at the DMV, the last time to get my vehicle situated. I go to put the license plate in and I press, continue. It's showing up license, that it has no recollection of my license plate number in their system. So I'm like, yo, bro, what's going on now? How is this possible? I literally was just here a week or two ago and everything was fine. Mind you, when I got there and I spoke to the lady at the desk because, I'm like, I tried to make an appointment. I couldn't make an appointment because something's going on in y'all system. It's telling me that my license plate isn't showing up. So it didn't allow me to reserve a appointment simply because of that. So she's seeing it in the system. She was like, oh, I see it here, that your vehicle, it's not your license plate isn't coming up in the system or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I know. Mind you, in my mind, I'm like, girl, I just told you that. But I'm telling her, I'm like, yeah, I know, but that doesn't make sense to me because I was just here like a week ago and everything was fine. And when I was here then, I was asking the lady, just let me know everything that I need to fix so I could get it fixed and, I'll be good to go. So she's looking up in the system. She was like, oh, I do see you was here a week ago and it did check out. She was like, that's weird. I'm saying, so now she's looking like, I don't know, the impression she gave me was like she didn't even want to get involved in whatever it was that I was, was going on. So she was like, you could just go upstairs or whatever and but she was saying it like that, but her impression, she was just looking like, I don't know, like the way I've been reading people just is crazy. Like she just seemed like she just didn't want to get involved in whatever was going on. And like I said, I already felt like I was being set up when they took my car after my first day of training and everything, and the trainee, he was being weird, and I'm saying, like, it was just a lot going on that just didn't make sense to me. So I go upstairs and I'm speaking to them or whatever to get all the information, make the payments that I needed to pay, get back to the towing place. Mind you, when I get back to the towing place now, that's when I have found out that, in order to, I can't drive the vehicle off the lot. Mind you, I kind of already knew this in my mind, but I never said anything to my mother or my grandmother because we all went there together. But I kind of already knew that was like a thing just from the history of just having my vehicle towed. If I'm not mistaken, I believe somebody gave me information like that. But I was kind of already aware, but I just didn't really fully know. So when they came out and they said it didn't come as a shock to me. He was like, you would have to get somebody to tow the vehicle back to the lot because it can't be driven off of the lot. And yeah, so long story short, it seemed like it was complicated getting the towing people to come, and then the towing people was like, oh, it's gonna be $100 a mile and stuff like that. Mind you, already got to sit here and pay this man because at that point the vehicle was sitting in their lot for a couple of days, for like a week or so. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like was in and out, and whether or not I had just went to the DMV a week prior or 2 weeks prior. But I think it was 2 weeks prior because the vehicle was sitting in the lot at that point in time for like a week or so. So to get it out, I had just finished giving them $1,000 and something dollars. Was it $1,000 and something dollars? No, I think it was probably around. I think it was either like $900 or $1,000 the first time, and then that time to get the vehicle out at that point, I think it was like $1,000 and something dollars. Like, don't quote me on the estimates. I just know that both times they were more than fucking $800. That's what I do know. But I think the first time it was like around $900 to probably $1,000, and the second time around it was like pushing, I don't know, I feel like $1,400. But I don't really remember the numbers accurately. But yeah, they was just like yeah, they was like, because it was $100 a day for having it sit there, on top of whatever fee it was to tow it, and whatever the fee was, that the my agency, because I had to pay. That's what it was. I had to pay the car note fees for, the car note fees to make sure that that's paid off so that I can take the vehicle back. If I'm saying that right, because the first time the fees wasn't for the car. The first time the fees wasn't for the car note. The fees was for. I forgot what the hell the fees was for the first time. The second time around, it was definitely for the car note. I had to pay the car note fees as well as the road tax. No, that might have been what it was for the first time they took it. It might have been for the road tax situation because the road tax wasn't paid off. I think that's what it was, because that's why it was cheaper. But yeah, so we just, either way, however you want to flip it, exchange it, it don't matter. The point was, they got their money the first time, and the second time around they did not get their money, because by the time I got there and I was seeing all the games that was being played, them sitting there talking about, oh, you have to, them sitting there, no, you're fine. Okay, them sitting there talking about, oh, $1,000 or something to get it out on top because of the days that was adding up. Also, the car note fees and the towing fees to tow the car from there. I think it was going to be like $100 a mile. By the time everything was all said and done, I was just looking at my mom and my grandmother, and I was just like, let them take this shit. Like, that's what it all boils down to. I'm like, yo, they could have it. If they want this vehicle that bad, I'm not going to keep on turning around paying a whole bunch of fucking fees to keep no goddamn vehicle, that it seemed like y'all dying to have. Y'all could take it. At that time, I was getting a whole bunch of, like, notifications in the mail, like, stating, mind you, I'm living outside of my car already, but I'm still, like, using my mother's address as a mailing address. And every time I go to pick up mail, it's a whole bunch of things in the mail saying, like, oh, to trade the car in, like, used vehicles are at an all-time high right now, like, they're needed or whatever. So they was trying to get me to trade the vehicle in to, like, get a new vehicle. But, like, I'm not trying to trade this car in. I'm trying to pay it off so I don't have to pay off no other goddamn vehicle. Like, I don't care about having an extremely up-to-date vehicle. What I care about is money being in my pockets. And as long as I'm constantly paying y'all for a car, that's going to be additional money out of my pocket. So I didn't want to trade in my vehicle. I didn't have an issue with the vehicle. I just wanted to get it paid off. But every time I turned around, it was something. So it was like everything was happening so ironically at the same time. I was just like, all right, whatever. Let them take this shit. I was like, listen, I'm not taking no more money from y'all. I already feel bad that I just took money from you like a couple of weeks ago, and I want to give you that money back as soon as possible. And it's just like, things is just not working how they should be working, because I'm going from all my bills to be paying 2 months in advance to being like a month or two behind with a car note, and like falling back. Honestly, I think all of my other bills were still, like, current. It was just the car note that was behind. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But, I'm like, bro, like, it's just too much. It's way too much going on. I was like, yo, just let them have it. I'm saying, I'll figure it out from here. Like, I'll make my way some way, somehow. But I'm not going to sit here and be, giving people all this money when they don't deserve it. Like, I'm paying you for what? You towed the vehicle and you sat there and decided to charge $100 a day. I'm saying it was no reason for it to be towed anyway, because I was going to get back to paying the note regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not mistaken, I may have been ignoring the loan company, but like, bro, 2 months. 2 months and y'all already on a hunt like that kind of sound like y'all was thirsty and y'all was waiting for it. But whatever. Besides the fact, I just let them take it. I was like, yo, I told the man, because I didn't like his attitude anyway, the dude that worked at the towing place, because he was making it seem like, mind you, he was making like little slick comments that was just irritating me. He came out his mouth and was talking to my mother, and she was just like, yeah, well, if she give up the car now, she's never going to get a car again, this and that. And I'm listening to him talk. And he's saying this shit, you saying this shit to my mom, first of all. And I'm saying, on top of that, you saying it in front of me, like I'm not standing here. But I'm listening, and everything in me wanted to start cursing him out, because it's like, bro, you're not being helpful. All you need to do is get your money and go about your business. All this extra that's coming out your mouth is unnecessary. I don't care for it. I don't need it. Like, you could honestly just keep the shit to yourself. It doesn't matter. Like, y'all can still keep the car regardless. You're gonna get your money regardless. If you don't get it from me, you're gonna get it from the loan agency that I got the car with. So what the fuck are you voicing your opinion for? Shut up, play your position, stay in your lane, and mind your business. But he felt the need to say something anyway. So I let it rock. I was just like, whatever. So now I just started being funny. I just started over talking him and just grabbing my stuff out of the car and just putting it into my mom's car, because I'm like, I don't have time to deal with this. Like, you could go inside and go about your business. And I just took the place off the car and just, left it. That's it. What can I do? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and enforce anything that clearly is not meant for me to have at this point. Because if I gotta sit there and go run miles just to keep it, then it's not for me. Give it up. And since then, I've been busting it, and I've been doing just fine. My legs work. Ain't nothing wrong with my body. You know what I'm saying? So if I gotta thug it out for a few months, I gotta thug it out for a few months. I'm not crying about it. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't complain about it. It's plenty of people around me that's making me feel like I should be complaining, or they acting like I'm supposed to be complaining. What am I complaining for? What's done is done. Move forward. Like, I don't sit on things. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything that's meant to be will be, and whatever, if it's forces behind it that's putting things into position to happen this way, then they're going to get what's coming to them regardless. Whether I see it or not, everybody gets dealt with. It's as simple as that. I don't need to know what happened to you. I know something's going to happen, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm saying, and I'm not sitting here trying to go against the grain. So if you doing stuff on your own time to be negative, whatever, that's absolutely fine. Life will deal with you how life will deal with you. And on that note, I'm out, because my storage is probably going to sit there and stay full again. But that's all I wanted to touch bases on. So yeah, the short that I saw with the lady, it kind of triggered me, and it kind of brought that memory up. And it made me look at FedEx in kind of a negative way. And it's crazy, as I've been sitting here talking about this, I done seen a FedEx truck pass. I want to say twice, but I'm just going to go with once at this point. But yeah, to each his own. I hope everybody has a blessed day. I'm out.